Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate that. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way possible, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. So with that being said, let's kind of move on and let's talk about, of course, the market structure. Now, I will say this, yes, the indices didn't look too bad today. Honestly, a lot of the, stocks and stuff did open fairly well. Of course, I am talking about this at 6:16 in the morning. So we are watching them today closely. I would like to see Bitcoin close above 40K, but we do need a lot more volume in order for us to actually do that. You can clearly see the resistance here being that 39.7K level, which is also the support zone that we, grasped back in, January. But this level is also key, even going back to September of 2021. And, when we are talking about this current level that we are fighting with for resistance, this is also significant for us to actually break out of so that we can go much higher. Now, with everything in mind, I do like the idea that Bitcoin has regressed the 702 level, which is 36.8K, and it seems like there's quite a bit of support around this range anyways. So I do believe that when we are talking about Bitcoin, could the bottom be fully in? It's hard to say. I don't want to say for certain if we did see the bottom, because you never know what could happen with stocks tomorrow. I will say this, watch the indices. We might get another retest of the 702 or even the 786, which is not typically a thing that happens. So if anything, watch for 36.8K to be lost. If this does get lost, I'm watching for those lower targets to be targeted, aka this 32.9K level from January 24th. But with all of that in mind, everyone is awaiting the last major fifth wave on Bitcoin still. We don't know if we are going to be getting that massive rally. Of course, we have to watch indices, because indices are going to be a leading factor for that, especially the Dow Jones. So continue to watch the major three indices throughout this week to keep, a close eye on finances. Now, of course, I do want to talk to you guys about some things that are happening around the world within this Russia stuff. So first off, breaking news, Canada's cyber spy agency is warning power companies, banks, and other critical elements of Canada's infrastructure to increase cyber defenses. Alerts all over the world now. Canada's cyber spy agency is warning power companies, banks, and other critical elements of Canada's infrastructure and economy to shore up their defenses against Russia-based cyber threat activity. And I will say this, honestly, when we are talking about these major attacks going on in the cyberspace, aka, cyber attacks that are shutting off whole power grids, things like that, we see these major warning signs being thrown out even now. Like even, yesterday I heard, I think it was on the radio while I was driving my car, I heard an announcement saying, prepare your electrical grids, prepare your generators and things like that. Like, it was getting pretty crazy, and now we are seeing those major warnings being thrown out around the world, even in Canada as well. So prepare yourself for anything like this that could be happening. We never know how much this is going to be escalated, but we do see preparations being taken around the world. But we also see here, the only way America can pay for a war is with more money printing. We are broke. There's also been a big dump at the start of almost any war, followed by a boom. AKA, I wouldn't count the market, stock, or crypto dead yet. And also, this is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of even Bitcoin and also XRP. Like, I talk about Bitcoin just because we are still in a Bitcoin-driven market until we are in a utility market. But this is exactly what I'm watching for crypto and even stocks. So of course, we do see the Vietnam War. Here's by the invasion before, of course, it continued to rally astronomically. Here's the Gulf War. Again, by the invasion, continued to massive rallies. Afghanistan war as well, we had this nice drop. It was by the invasion, then we had this nice impulse that was a little bit, underwhelming. It didn't go to the all-time highs, but of course then it followed by a collapse in the market. But if we are talking about these levels that we're buying at now, I would compare it to probably the Crimean War or the Crimean crisis, sorry. because I think that this is exactly, a similar picture that we are looking at now. I mean, we could be talking more so about an Afghanistan war structure, where we do have, like, for an example, Bitcoin rally to, possibly this golden era up here, which I do have marked on the demand zone. This would be roughly, if we actually go over here to the percentage fractal, so this would actually be roughly a 46.59% pump on Bitcoin. That's pretty much all we need for a major altcoin rally, depending on, of course, how low Bitcoin's dominance is. But you can clearly see that every single time that we have gone to war, it was sort of by the invasion attack, if you will. But of course, I'm not trying to make a negative thing positive. I'm just saying this is probably what we could be expecting right now. But I do want to talk to you guys about the major plan behind the scene for, of course, XRP. And listen closely to this, guys.
Step 2 is what's being discussed now, which is the payment processing system. So really what they're competing with is the SWIFT bank system, right? So right now, if you're sending money overseas from a U.S. bank, you have to use, or any Western country, you use that SWIFT system that is set up in Belgium. And that prevents money laundering in theory and all that kind of thing. But what the BRICS nations are doing is saying, well, we don't need to use the SWIFT system because we don't want to be subjected again to U.S. sanctions, because if the U.S. is sanctioning you, you can't move money using that SWIFT system. So what's really interesting is, number one, they're creating a payment system that would go around SWIFT. But how do you do that when you have 5 major countries that all have their own currencies? And one of the ways they're doing that is by using possibly cryptocurrency to do that. That would translate their currencies into a single cryptocurrency that is then used through the system and then formulated, I guess, when it gets into their country, back into their own personal currency. So essentially, you're taking currency from one, sending it through as a cryptocurrency, and then back on the other end into transforming it into another currency. And that allows them, again, to get around this SWIFT system in a way that no one had really thought about in the past, because crypto already has all of those things in place.
Now, Russia in particular, they've been moving away from the U.S. dollar. In fact, in the last 5 years, Russia actually cut out almost half of its trade payments in U.S. currency, from 92% to about 50%. So what does this say about its relationship, if any, with the West?
Well, I think it says that, that Russia specifically really started pushing this after 2014, right? Because in 2014, the U.S. started hitting Moscow with sanctions, and they wanted to punish. And remember how this works. Sanctions are issued against individual countries. They're also issued against leaders in those countries or wealthy people in those countries. And so when leaders in those countries and wealthy people in those countries start getting hit with sanctions, you have a choice. You can either go along with this and comply, or you can say, let's create a system that no longer gives you leverage over us. Well, one thing that the U.S. is doing a very poor job of right now is recognizing that it's not just Russia or just China, but there are 5 major nations and dozens of smaller nations that are very excited about the idea of no longer being under U.S. dominance when it comes to currency. And we're not doing anything about it. At this point, the U.S. is resisting on almost every level any push to change the way the system is currently.
And I also want you guys to realize that the idea that he just said that they are resisting to push into that new system is the exact same reason why XRP is in a lawsuit with the SEC. You got to understand that this was targeted to slow Ripple down, but also it's the idea that the payment structure that we are in now with SWIFT is collapsing in front of our eyes. Okay? The new system is nearing day by day by day. We even see here, in the words of TransferGo customer, Ripple provides a smoother, more reliable service than the legacy system and makes an impact on their bottom line. For SMEs in particular, that impact is huge. The new system is already here. It's already designed in front of us. We even see here, Ripple CEO aims to dismantle legacy cross-border payments infrastructure. This goes back to 2019, November. Okay, Ripple Labs declares war on legacy cross-border banking practice. Of course, they're not trying to dismantle SWIFT. No, they're trying to disrupt the major cross-border market, which is, of course, $156 trillion, if you will. We even see here too much idle oil in the system. Of course, they're talking about the pre-funded accounts. There was $10 trillion back here, but again, we do know that it's more than $20 trillion currently. And, this is where we do see, of course, XRP being the main source of a lot of these, payments. XRP transactions typically settle in 3 seconds, with the digital assets ledger capable of consistently processing over 1,500 transactions per second, according to its website. We do know that they have been updating this and actually upgrading the transactional per second demand. But overall, again, We got to understand that if we are talking more so about an XRP-based system being implemented, now is the time. Now is the time that we will be seeing this happen. And I'm not saying that, Russia is going to be the star player. No, it's going to be many nations, because similar in this video, we do see 5 major nations are trying to move in and move away from SWIFT into a crypto-based settlement platform. And of course, it's smaller nations too. It's not only, of course, these major nations. And of course, we do see the cost-cutting case for banks, the ROI of using Ripple and XRP for global interbank settlements. This goes back to February of 2016. Okay? And again, here's the introduction of, why XRP. We do see global payment infrastructure today, access, certainty, speed, and cost. These are all very painful areas for, of course, the current structure. Here you guys have the current structure. Settlement up to 3 days. We now know it's 9 days. It's slowing with time and demand. Digital assets as the solution. Here is, of course, the solution. This is liquidity cost, by the way. There's a lot of liquidity cost here, but here's the solution. The XRP pool. Now, of course, take into accountability, this is from 2016, so a lot of this model is outdated. If you guys do want to have a more updated view, you can go over to Ripple's website and go to the ODL volume and stuff like that sort of page. But we do see XRP pool will interconnect every single bank. This will interconnect every single bank globally as well. As you guys do see, Germany, even the US, Japan, and Brazil, pretty much mentioned here. Now, I want you to all understand that we do see the economic implications of a universal bridge asset: foreign exchange, currency hedging, treasury operations, liquidity, payment operations, Basel III as well, which we do know that Basel III just got a major update to it, or an upgrade, if you will. But international payment servicing cost breakdown. Here's the cost breakdown. We do see Basel III being 7%, payment operations 21%, liquidity 23%, treasury operations 27%, currency hedging 12%, and of course foreign exchange 10%. And we do see institutional cost savings using Ripple 33%. And honestly, 33% is something pretty significant, and this is exactly why enterprises will be utilizing, or institutions, I should say, will be utilizing Ripple for payments. But this goes back to 2016, I mind you. And here we have Ripple with XRP. This is exactly why XRP will be utilized. Once you add in XRP, it goes down to 42%. Almost 50% savings on all of these cross-border payments and banking payments. This is why the Ripple plus XRP system will be implemented at mass and be utilized by these major players in this space, because we do see major savings, speed as well. Like, it's not only liquidity in terms of a pro, you get foreign exchange, treasury operations, payment operations. I mean, all of this is major pros for institutions. And I want you to all understand that, of course, international payment infrastructure costs down 60% with Ripple plus XRP, low volatility XRP as well. And I just want you all to understand that when we're talking about the new system, it's happening right now. We even see here the coming reset of the international monetary system. Gold realities, gold myths. Again, when we're talking about Ripple XRP, XRP plays a key role in this. The days of a dominant US dollar are soon behind us. The entire financial system is about to be extremely disrupted. I want you to all understand that when we're talking about global payments with Ripple, I definitely do think that Ripple is going to play a key role in the new financial system. However you want to put it, I would say the best quote is from Chris Larson. Ripple is working on a replacement for SWIFT, how to get all of the payment providers onto Interledger Protocol, and how to use XRP as on-demand liquidity. And I want you to all understand, they want to get all of the payment providers onto Interledger Protocol. The reason for this is because Interledger Protocol will be the interoperability bridge between all of these payment providers. That way it is so easy to transact and convert fiat currencies to, one another. But also, they don't even need all of them to connect onto the Interledger Protocol. The reason for this is because at the end of the day, guess who they are already working with? That is right. QNT, Quant Network. And I've addressed this, and I've talked to you guys about Quant Network and how big of a key they are also to the puzzle. I want you to all realize what is being built in front of our faces. Now, of course, I know everyone right now watching this video is going to say, but Nick, what about, the SEC lawsuit? Well, let's talk about the SEC lawsuit. Here's, of course, Chris Larson talking about the SEC lawsuit.
As utility. So we think that was a perplexing move that happened literally on the last days of the Trump administration under in the SEC, for example. But we're hopeful that we can get that clarity in the U.S., and then that will allow the U.S. to be rightfully the number one when it comes to fintech, crypto, just like it is with every other part of the internet.
And again, when we're talking about this, the stakes are just way too high. The U.S. will become dominant again once they, really kind of accept this technology and really utilize this technology at mass. Utility is coming. A utility-driven market is on its way. Of course, I do think that we're some years away from that, but when that does happen, also XRP will shine as a winner. But one, we will see this major market extremely revolutionized and reshapen. But also we see the idea of this new system being built. It is being, prospered in at a streamlined way. I definitely think that with all of the effects that are going on in the world, the major events that are taking place, especially overseas, which of course, like I said, prayers go out to those individuals over there. But with all of the, events that are happening, I think that is streamlining the process of having this new system being implemented right now. And I think that when we're talking about XRP and Ripple, they have done years and years and years of building, for, of course, a major transition from SWIFT to a new financial, system. And of course, it's not on Ripple to accept or deny these areas, use of course, the network. It is, of course, decentralized, and they could utilize this, network at any time. And I'm just telling you guys right now, what is, of course, the best system to utilize right now that will save you 65% in terms of payments, or 60%, sorry, and also 42% in terms of international payment infrastructure cost. I mean, this is where, I just want you all to understand that we are going to be seeing a major disruption within all of these markets. And I definitely think that Ripple with XRP is going to be a clear-cut choice for a lot of these major players out there, because the cost, the savings, of course, the efficiencies all add up perfectly for these major areas to utilize this technology. There's nothing out there like this. On-demand liquidity is patent technology, and it is truly disrupting the game right now, especially the banking legacy scene. So with all of that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.